Hello, everyone. Today we are talking to Alan Leach from Westwood Club about proven sales strategies for maximum member acquisition. Hi, Alan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dawood. It's a pleasure to be on your eFitness podcast. It really is.
Alan, super excited to have you here. I had the pleasure to listen to two of your lectures at IRSA events, and what I love about those was that, the things that you share, it was all based on actual business practice. So basically, the things that you refine over the years, the marketing, strategies, the sales strategies, it was the things that you actually share with the people on the lectures. So super excited to have you here to discuss, sales and marketing. But before we dive into it, just tell us a bit more about yourself and how you actually ended up in the fitness industry.
How did I end up in the fitness industry? I ended up at a very young. I originally started working in nightclubs and bars, and then, like a lot of people, I got into fitness. It was the late '80s, and I was delighted one day to get a job in a gym. And that was many, many years ago. And I very quickly and accidentally ended up in sales. I worked for a guy who was an ex-bank manager, and it was before people really thought about sales or marketing. And he was very sales focused, and there was a lot of sales training in those days, which was unheard of. Many, many clubs didn't do that. So I ended up in sales, went back to university for 5 years, studied marketing while I was working in the fitness club. And a lot of people who studied marketing with me left the industry. They ended up in insurance or banking or finance or whatever. And I stayed in the fitness industry, and there was not that many who were coming from an academic background into the industry. And then, of course, I started to attend conferences with IRSA in the US and club industry in the US. And so I just stayed in it, and then got involved in running clubs, and then involved in sales training. I provide sales training in nearly everywhere: Mexico, Brazil, Europe, the US. Do a lot of stuff in Iceland. So it's kind of a dual thing where I was running clubs and doing this kind of consultancy stuff. And then, of course, I was a member of IRSA, joined the board of IRSA, the International Health Racquet and Sports Club Association, and then ended up as chair of IRSA. And of course, along the way, I took over the Westwood clubs in Dublin. We originally had 3 fitness clubs. I was hired to put in a sales and marketing system, but stayed with the company. And now we've 6 clubs with 37,500 members. We were the premium end of the market. So that's a very brief and very quick history, David, of how I ended up in the fitness industry.
Awesome. Yeah, I wanted to ask you about Westwood clubs, but you already mentioned it.
Yeah.
Do you know what can you share with us? What's the average size of the Westwood club?
That's a great question. Really, they could be divided in two, David. So we have the big multi-facility, family orientated type fitness club with your swimming pools and your group fitness studios, and they range in size, the 3 big ones, from about 140,000 square feet. I'll give it to you in square feet because I'm still in the metric, I'm so old. Up to 250,000 square feet. So that big club would have 14 tennis courts, 50-meter pool. Some of our clubs have 6 and 7 group fitness studios. So there's Les Mills Immersive, Yoga, Pilates studios, and that's the way they've grown over the years. So they're very big clubs, what some would call the big box fitness facility. I never believed that they were going away. People believe the death of the big box clubs. I absolutely never agreed with that. And then we've 3 smaller clubs. And when I say smaller, we're talking about the 25 to 30,000 square foot clubs. So they would be swimming pool and gym and group fitness, but they wouldn't have the racket sports or the tennis.
Mm-hmm. Let's dive into the topic, and I would like to actually have a little exercise with you, a little scenario. So right now, okay, you're running the 6 clubs for a number of years already. Alan, let's imagine that we are relocating you to different country, and okay, this is you're getting 1 club. It's already up and running, but no members inside, and you're responsible for growing the member base. What would be the steps for you, the first steps that you would do actually to grow the member base?
It's a great question, David, and I thought about it. So what you're looking at is, you've opened a club, it's an empty club, and you want it to be successful. coming from an academic, like I come from an academic background of marketing, and then obviously a day to day making a business work. And of course, anybody that's studied marketing and knows marketing, there's always this debate between the tactical marketing things you do and the strategic marketing things that you do. And I would advise anybody that's opening a club or starting off is from day one, think of both of those. You obviously want members, you want revenue, you want profits, you want clients, but you also have to think long term about the strategic part of marketing. And those would be things like, how do you want to be positioned in the marketing going forward? And many times when you have an empty club and you're just starting off, you forget about those things. And what can happen is you end up being positioned in the market by just chance as opposed to any long-term thought out strategic way of doing that. So I would say to anybody, think about how you want to be positioned in the market in a year or two. Do you want to be a premium, budget, boutique, niche type club? How do you want to be positioned in the mind of potential members and potential consumers? And the way to think about that is Gold's Gym has a very good position. David Lloyd's has a position in the market. Planet Fitness, McFit, they all have strong positions in the market. Some at the top end, some at the bottom end. When I say bottom, just budget. And they've good, strong positions in the mind of the consumer. And that can really help you in years ahead because people make a very quick decision. Do I want a David Lloyd's? Do I want a McFit? And if you're the number one that comes into your mind, you're at an advantage. And also think about how you want to differentiate your club from other clubs. Are you going to just be another fitness club in another location that's exactly the same as everybody else? You have the chance when you're opening a new club to decide on how you want to be positioned, decide on how you want to differentiate your fitness product from other fitness products. Because if you're open 3 or 4 years, it can be too late to do that. You can just end up another Me Too club. And then you also have to think about what segments of the market are you going to target. You really need to get these things down on paper. It doesn't need to be complicated. It could be a one-page A4 sheet. This is the segments of the market I'm going after. Men, women, young, old, medical, whatever segments of the market you want to serve. My advice to anybody when they do segmentation is to make sure those segments are big enough to get you the members that you want and are big enough to be profitable. There's no point in saying we're just going to go after people who, I'll pick something crazy here, are deaf members and only them, and it's not a big enough market. You need to go after a market that's big enough, and then you need to decide how you're going to target them. So strategically, think about your product. Think about the service that you're going to provide. Many, many clubs are open 4, 5, 6 years and have never documented what a member gets. You need to decide, if you come to our club, we know exactly you're going to get a free 6-day personal training plan. You're going to get 4,500 classes. You're going to get this, and it needs to be documented. So when you're opening or pre-opening, your sales staff, the new members, management understand fully what it is that you're bringing to the market. And really, I'd say to anybody, take the time to get those things down on paper. Again, price is another thing you need to think of. My advice in a short podcast would be, if you choose a price, increase it by 25% and take that price to the market. Really think hard about what price do you want to charge, because if you underprice it, and you're 4 or 5 years down the road or 2 years down the road, it is extremely difficult to go up. If you've overpriced, you can always come down. If you've overpriced, there's a thing called pricing is a surrogate for value, that if you charge a high price, people perceive this as something special. And if you decide later to come down, that's fine. But if you go into the budget end and you're up against some serious players and serious competitors like Planet Fitness and McFit, and you don't succeed, well, then it's very difficult to change that strategy. The other thing is you need to think strong about the processes that you're going to have in place. How will you get people into shape? How will you provide personal training? And really think about how you're going to get these things done and document it, and have I write marketing plans with 40 and 50 pages, but you can write a marketing plan with 1 page and just really get those things out. And something that helps is even the marketing mix is a great tool. What product will you provide? What price will you charge? Where will the location be? And how are you going to advertise and promote that? And then the other thing to think about a new club is really, really think hard about your interior design. What will people see when they walk into your club? And think about how can you do it differently than all the competitors. So what I'm saying to people is be different, be very different, but think about your customer, think about who you're going to serve, and really, really get that right before you open up. Because once you have that done, you have the real good groundwork done, and it's much easier to sell it. But if you just go in and just worry about the pre-sale and the pre-sale and the pre-sale, then you're down the road trying to change things and the consumer's confused. So that would be the strategic side. I would then say, for anybody new starting off, you're going to need members. You're going to need members. You're going to try and grow as quickly as possible. And you can use all the tools that are out there. You can use social media, definitely like the old basics of advertising: awareness, awareness, awareness. Create an interest. AIDA is what they say. Create a desire to come to your club. When you've all the previous stuff done, you could start thinking about writing up advertising. So you know what you want to be to the consumer, you know the market that you're going after, you know the price you're going to charge, you've thought about the club and how it's designed. Once that's done and you have it in your head as an owner, you can start communicating that to staff, salespeople, managers, and then you can start writing your marketing material. The usual thing is, if you're having a pre-sale and you're trying to get people in, have a high price joining fee, have a decent price, and then you could do all the tricks that people have done over the years. So if you're opening up in 3 months' time or 2 months' time, you can have a pre-sale where there's a discounted price in the first month, the third month before opening. It goes up in the second month. It goes up in the first month. So you do have this, create an urgency, an attractive offer that people will choose to buy now, and wait the month or two before you open. The only thing I'll say about pre-sales these days is, I saw a lot of pre-sales over 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and a lot of them were very successful because people didn't have anywhere to go before that. But if you're opening up beside 3 clubs that are already opening, there's no rush to join a club that's not open. But you can still use those techniques. A couple of other things I would tell people. Again, I tend not to think of the now. I think of the future, what's going to make it easy in a month, 2, 3, 4 months. So one thing I would tell anybody when you move into the era of digital marketing is, number one, make sure your website is up as early as you possibly can. Because a big thing with search engine optimization, which is getting onto page 1 of Google or even to the top of Google, is the age of your website. So create your brand, get that website up as quickly as possible. Another thing top digital marketing companies do is stockpile content. So we don't have the whole time to go into search engine optimization, but if you get ahead of the competition and become good at search engine optimization, within a couple of months, you can start appearing on page 1 of Google for free. But that's going to need content. And when we say content, we're talking about articles of information. I advise clubs when they're starting off, try and pick 40, 30, 50 really good topics that will help you with SEO. And some of the ones that I've done is how to choose the best club in Poznan, fitness for women over 50, getting in shape, joining a club, and pick the topics and then have somebody write 40 or 50 one-page, 400 or 500 word articles. And that's what we talk about, stockpiling content, because trust me, when you open your club, you are not going to have the time to write that content. And if you look at what we did, is because it was similar in COVID, was similar, closed for 10 months, you're coming back out to try and recover, is get that content. The other thing I would say is to anybody who's opening a new club, really, really think about how you want to market and sell your club. So are you going to sell online? You need to be able to answer yes or no. If you're a budget club, you're probably more than likely going to be selling your membership online and everything's going to be automated. If you're, in my opinion and my belief is, if you're a premium price club, you need to get people in front of you and show them your club and show them how you can get them in shape, and then you can charge a much higher fee, and that's what we do. But I think any new player needs to think about, how do you want to sell or market your club? Is it going to be online? Is it going to be at your club? How are you going to get leads? And get it documented. So again, this idea that staff and managers understand, this is what we're going to provide. This is the market we're going over after, and these are the systems that we're going to use to sell a market. The last thing I'll finish on, David, is this. I would say to anybody, the best investment you can make is to invest in professional sales training. Hands down, 100%. Years and years ago, I worked for a guy who was very, very successful, very wealthy, sold out. And he was asked, and I was very great friends with him. And this is going back 30 years ago. And he was asked, what's the best thing you ever bought for your fitness business? And he said the best investment he ever made was, he'd been open a year and he hired a sales trainer who was from the industry. and that made him wealthy. He said of all the equipment he bought and all the different things he invested in, that's what made him wealthy. So, I mean, just to sum up, think strategically and tactically about your marketing. Don't just think about this week. Think about how you're going to be operating in 6 months, 12 months, 50 months, because that will really give you a competitive advantage, because most people don't put that effort in. But in the now, you need to get leads in. And that's going to come down to your budget. If you can buy big billboards that people see when they're driving by, opening soon, brand new club, whatever. Um, think about how you're going to advertise to people. I mean, obviously, if you're in one location, you have lots of options as to how you can build awareness. If you've got a big budget, you can use some of the old techniques of leaflets to door, but there's no doubt social media, search engine optimization. And if you have large budgets, you can pay Google ads and you can pay Facebook. So a lot of that comes down to the budget you have and what you're trying to achieve. But be careful with some of them. You can throw a ton of money at them and not get the return, but you need to be professional. So that's the long answer, David.
Yeah, there's a lot of into what you just said. Okay, I like the how you say, thinking about marketing, when one is the strategic part of the marketing, which is, I think, like you said, very crucial, and I think that many times overlooked. Okay, there is the when I talk with different club operators, they know, what's the segment, but then, how to strategically position yourself.
Yeah.
And because at the end, then it reflects in what you have on your website, how this website is structured, how you write a copy on the website. Then, of course, it is reflected in the marketing materials that then you create. One thing was quite interesting for me. You said, think about interior design. Like, what's the experience you would like to for the members to feel or experience when they enter the club? This one is quite like a new for me, I would say. Like, okay, think about that when you before actually open the club. I know that I ask you with the example I had, that I give you the club, but I understand that those things, thinking strategically about marketing, it's long before actually you open the gym. Yeah, it's like, okay, thinking how you're going to position the business, then where you are going to locate the business, then okay, we would like to differentiate the business also with the look and feel within the club. So this one is very important. Then you mentioned went to the more actionable things, and one I like, okay, put the website as soon as possible. And I also see it when talking to different club operators, that the website, it's not the first thing that they are doing. That they already websites sometimes is popping up. They're creating the website a month, 2 months before the pre-sales, where they are actually, the club is in the process of building for 6 months or 12 months in advance. So one thing what you mentioned is, okay, have the website as soon as possible, then stack the content. So I understand that have the content optimized for search engine, meaning that probably having also the local keywords. Gym in Poznan, gym in Dublin. And of course, before you have the pre-sales, you can have on the website some information or some visual how the club is going to look like, and probably some, sign-up form for a newsletter or some call to action. Join your Facebook page to be the first informed about about when we open the club. Alan, talking more about the practical thing, I review your website, and I can see that you're, as you mentioned before, that you actually want people to come to the club, to show them the club around. So what you have on your website, you are collecting leads. So the website is, I would say, optimized for it. Yeah, okay, become a member, but then, okay, leave us the contact information. Okay, this is a free pass or 1 day pass, or this is a free, PT session, sign up for it. Why you decided to go that route?
Okay, that's a great question. It's probably one of the ones I left out in the first question, which I should have reiterated. Number one goal as well, when you've got a new club, build your database, build your database, build your database. I only did a presentation there at the weekend, and I asked the audience how many people had more than 5,000 sales leads in their in-house sales database. One hand went up. one hand. We've got about 240,000 sales leads in our database because we've been so obsessive about getting names, contacts, telephone numbers, emails into our database. Because when you own the database, you can do what you like. You can email them, you can SMS them, you can write to them, you can phone them if you own the database. Our database is our most profitable asset. I can use our database to do a direct marketing campaign and generate 3.6 million in revenue. That's the simple way to look at a strong database. We get 1% of the people will buy membership when we contact them. So building database, building database. So when you look at our website, we keep it very, very simple. We want you to go to see our website, and we do that by really good search engine optimization. If you look up anything like, you know, choosing a gym, choosing the best gym, what's the best gym for you, group fitness classes, yoga, Pilates, swimming lessons, anything like that, we will end up on page one or on top of page one. So the first goal is to get us to the top of Google. You see it, you click on the website. When I said to you earlier about choose the segments you want to go after, the great thing about digital marketing and content management and creating lots of content is you can target so many segments, because when they get to your website, they can go to the strength training page, the weight loss page, the swimming page, the strength and conditioning page, the sports specific page, but that's where you need lots of content. So when they get there, what you're hoping is that when they read a piece of content, they say, well, this club might be what I'm looking for. So what you have is you have to offer something to get a lead. What you're really looking for is, what can I give somebody that they're prepared to give me their name, telephone number, and email, and they're happy for me to contact them. Now, if somebody said to me, well, we give out free water bottles and everybody gives their name, well, good, stick with the free water bottles. I don't think that's going to happen. So we used to do 1 day and 2 day. The most successful for us has been the 4-day pass. Like, it's a real no-brainer. The free 4-day membership for Westwood clubs, swimming pools, tennis, group fitness, personal trainers, everything's there. You can try it for free. And it's something, when somebody lands on the website, it's very simple to do. There's no real commitment. If they want to come in, they can come in. If they don't want to come in, they come. But we've got their contact details. The salespeople are phoning them up within minutes. Also, we use a lot of marketing automation so that when you would give your name, telephone number, and email, it goes directly into our in-house database. You get an autoresponder email, and it's, again, using the best copy, real direct response kind of copy. Welcome to Westwood. Delighted you applied for the 4-day pass. Here's what you're going to get. Here's what's going to happen next. We're going to call you. We're going to book you in. We're going to show you around. We're going to make it really easy for you. So we focus on that to get your name, telephone number, and email, and then to get you to come into the club. People that tell me they can sell premium price clubs online, well done. We can't. We want you in the club. And remember, we're getting about 2,400 new sales leads every month. That's 2,400 new sales leads every month. We don't have to go to the street to beg for leads. We don't even have to pester members to give us leads. These go directly into the website, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. I call it marketing on autopilot. It's the website's there. It's the most profitable thing we can do. It's the first thing people see. We've got to have it right. We're actually changing our website in the process now, because basically when you create a new website, David, you've got to think content. You've got to think calls to action. You've got to think website usability. And website usability is a big thing in digital marketing. Does your website, is it designed in a way to get people to do what you want to do? Now, I know what I want them to do. Give me your name, telephone number, and email. We'll contact you immediately. We'll try and get you into our club. We'll follow you up with a lot of sales emails and to get you to come to the club. And if you don't join now, we can target you in January and September with, special offers or promotions. And these are the big campaigns that we do. But again, with the new club, I'd say, look, it's great to sell 40 memberships today, but you want to be selling 40 and 40 and 50 down the road as well. And that's much, much easier when you have those contacts in your database. If you having people view your club or going onto your website and you're not getting their contact details, you don't get a second chance to market to them unless you use something like Google remarketing or something, and it's very expensive. So that's the reason. Oh, sorry, there's another thing with the 4-day pass. We do kind of offers that we give people the opportunity when they come in a 4-day pass to get a fairly large discount on the joining fee if they choose to join on the first day. So salespeople love it. More people come in because of it. We also allow them to bring somebody with them if they want to come in. Another thing that we do is, by the way, so if you applied for the 4-day pass and you didn't answer your phone, you got a text and you're not responding to emails and you don't come in, everything's automated. So I think it's after 3 weeks or 4 weeks, if you haven't come to visit, you get another email that says, "Hi, David. Good news. I've upgraded your 4-day trial to a 7-day VIP trial membership. Here's what you're going to get with that. Unfortunately, the 7-day VIP trial membership ends this Friday. Just call me back if you want to come in and get started and that. I'd love to meet you at reception." So it's using digital marketing automation, internet marketing, but also the most important thing for anybody doing this is the ability to be able to write really, really good sales copy. Now that's my background, so I can write that copy. I can train the sales staff. So really, we kind of keep a tight hold on it.
The sales copy and copywriting, I see.
Yeah.
There's a lot of club operators. They're focusing on actually the technology and possibilities in the marketing automation stuff and stuff like that, because you can get very excited about the possibilities. But still, at the end, the most important part is when you have automation is you have to write compelling copy. So even if you have the best automation tool, if you don't have the good copywriting skills or somebody within the company that can write it for you, or some outsider that can, really can, craft it, then doesn't matter what kind of tool you have, it won't work. So the one is crucial. We're not going to go into that topic today about sales copy.
But I will say this, David. I mean, I've been saying this for years. The number one tool in marketing today, and everybody talks about Facebook and social media and Instagram and TikTok, the number one tool is the pen, because when you get involved in search engine optimization, content marketing, inbound marketing, social media marketing, when you get involved in any of these new digital tools, the one thing none of those companies give you is words. You'll get an empty page on a content managed website. You'll get an empty page when you go to put Google ads up. You'll get an empty page when you go to do Facebook advertising. And they will want you to write the headline, write the content. And that's where most people get stuck, is because these tools are great, but do you know how to write a really good headline? Do you know how to write a really good subhead? Do you know how to write a call to action? Do you know how much information you should put in? Do you know how to make something sound really good? Because in any type of marketing, advertise, like years ago, if you go back, say 25 or 30 years ago when I was doing a lot of this stuff, you might have to write copy once a year. When you change your Yellow Pages ad, or you did a new brochure, or you put an ad in a newspaper. But today, if you really want to be on top of this stuff, you're writing content probably every day. If leave outside the fitness industry, but many of the companies, they're hiring copywriters, they're hiring journalists, they're getting people trained in English to be able to write this constant content. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot into it. So I think the lesson from here is that if you don't feel like you have the know-how, you can of course just try to look for it by yourself. There's a lot of content on it. You know how to write great copy. If you're starting small business, if you are a bit larger and you have resources, you can always have somebody inside the company to write the copy. Just hire someone, or you can look for like someone outside agency or consultant.
Yeah.
Alan, the thing that you mentioned, like collecting leads and build your own database, this one is really huge thing, many times overlooked. Like when you do it consistently and correct, in number of years, what will happen? You will have contacts to actually most of the people around your club.
Yeah.
This one is huge. You can always pay for Google ads and for remarketing for Facebook and other stuff, but when you're strategic about building your database, meaning collecting contacts to your actual potential clients, down the line you will have contacts to most of the people that live around your club. Yeah. So they will one time they will buy the membership, then they will be for 2 years off, and then after 2 years they will come back again because you
Yeah.
reach out for them. So this one I think is very crucial. Well, also other thing that probably people overlook is that I spoke with one of the clients. I asked him about marketing automation, marketing, email, and he said that the main channel is social media. And then I asked him, but that when you publish something, like less than 10% of the people that actually are your followers see it. You can always check it when you see on the engagement on your Facebook page. There is not, a lot. So you have to use different channels then to have a great conversion rate. Alan, you said that you have 4-day pass.
Yeah.
That you tested with 1-day pass, 2-day pass, and the 4-day pass seems like that you had the best
Yeah.
conversion rate. Like more people actually sign up for the 4-day pass. Yeah.
Well, here's what it is our like a lot of this is used in the US for many years. It wasn't that I invented it. The reason I do the 4-day pass is, one, there's a higher value on it. So we don't really allow people to pay to come into our club on a once-off visit. We have a price that if a member has somebody home from Australia and they want to come in, I think we have a price of €35 for one visit. So the reason I started using the 4-day pass, so before we did it online, we used to have hard copies, passes we'd give out to members and after classes and all the old way. And we still do that. We have hard, this side 4-day pass, come along and try Westwood. If we're doing some stuff on the street, we give them out. And the reason was that if you take, I'll round it down to €25 instead of €35. A 1-day pass is worth €25. A 4-day pass is worth €100, and a 4-day pass for two people is worth €200. So now, when a new member came in, or when we used to go out, we say, "Listen, I've got a 4-day pass here. It allows you to bring a friend. Now they're worth €200. Will you be careful?" So the person was more likely to hold on to this because there was a higher value on it. So that was the one reason we had it. The second one was when we used a 1-day pass and we tried to close on that first day, it was a little bit gimmicky. We've an offer that finishes today, or we've an offer that finishes this Friday. So what we did with the 4-day pass is that we have a very high joining fee of €599. Now, what we can say to people on a 4-day pass is that when they come in, we have an early start incentive program. And we have that for people who are thinking about starting, but just need a little push and have been putting it off for a while. So as a financial incentive, and it's really up to you, David, if you decide to become a member on the first day of your 4-day trial, you can decide not to use the 4-day trial and you get a large discount. Instead of €599, it's €150. So you're saving €349. The second day, you don't get it for €149. It's €249 the third day. So it was a great sales tool. Again, this idea of linking website, 4-day pass, sales process, closing technique. And it's the one that's worked for us for years. You could do 3-day, you could do 2-day, you could do 4-day. The other thing that's interesting, by the way, the 4-day passes are consecutive. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So very, very few actually use 4 days. Most come in and do 1 day and might come in a second day. You're not allowed to take 1 day a week for 4 weeks. It's 4 consecutive days. So really, they're not really using it any more than if they just got a 1-day pass. But I look at what will get me a name, telephone number, and email, what will get them into the club, and what will provide the opportunity to get them in front of a professional salesperson who can show them the benefits of long-term membership. And for us, the 4-day trial has done it. Other clubs, and this goes back to your branding and your positioning, if you decided you wanted to be really, really premium, charging €250 a month, it may not suit you to advertise a free 4-day trial when you're trying to keep it. But look, trust me, some of the most premium clubs in the world who still like to, keep that premium image still do trial memberships and different things because we're all the same. We're trying to get new members, new clients, new personal training clients, and we're trying to keep our business successful. And in our industry, but unless you're on a really, really good location, you're not going to have 50 people a day walking into your club off the street continuously. Whereas the 4-day trial can do that.
I like what you said. It's okay. You have 4 days, so the perceived value is quite high.
Yes.
Yeah. Still, in most of the cases, they come 1-2 days.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it like you would give away 1 or 2 day pass, so why not go with 4 and still
Or
knowing that most of them will go with 1 day, but the
And
perceived
in
value is
December,
higher.
we've done 12. We've done 12 days of fitness in December. Again, it's a quiet time. We look at it as a lead generation time. And the other thing about 4 day trials, think of the potential member. A lot of times, a new member to your club who's never been in a fitness club before is looking for some easy way to just put their foot in the door. I got research done years ago, and I was running another company at the time. And the research came back because it was previous to Westwood, and we were very much recognized as a sales or marketing organization in the public. And we would have thought that was a bad thing. We would have thought that people were kind of apprehensive about an organization that was all about sales and the potential member. And when we got the research done, it actually came back, and I remember it was a psychologist did it. He said, "Look, you are recognized as a very strong sales organization. You're seen as a club that tries to sell membership, but the truth is, the consumer likes that." They might throw an odd comment because what you have in the fitness industry, because of the intimidation factor in gyms, you have a product that you sell that most people have one foot in and one foot out, and they actually want somebody to drag them in. They want them to drag them in and show you what you have and help me get started. So what people need to remember is there's a huge market outside your club that would like to be fitter, like to be healthier, like to be slimmer, like to be more attractive. But over the years, gyms have sometimes created an image that alienates those people. You have not really been attractive to those people. So, in a way, being salesy and being well trained in sales, not amateur sales, creates an opportunity where those people feel at least, well, I'm welcome there. They want me to come in and see the club. They've asked me to come in and see the club. They've rang me twice. Sure, look, they really want my business. Let's go down. So you're making that transition from being outside the gym experience to inside a little bit easier.
Here a lot of gold here. So one thing is, like, when somebody signs up for a 4 day trial, or
Yes.
for 1 day pass or something like that, they already have a buying intent. Nobody
Yes.
nobody signs up.
100%.
Yeah, nobody signs up just to, okay, I will go there, but no, I don't want to. Okay, some people will do, but for 100 people, most of them will actually want to check out the gym because they are thinking about actually joining the club. So now, knowing that, you have to have in place, at least in some business models. Yeah, okay, I understand the budget
Yes.
operators,
Yeah.
they have online sales. Still, some of them, they have day passes, or day pass costs something, and some people buy it just to check out the club, and then you can connect the automation actually to still try to convert those people to buying regular membership. But okay, in your case, in some, probably most of the many cases, premium clubs, you have this free trial. Come in, try the club for yourself. And I can understand it also, that many people, they like to have uh, good sales. If you have good sales, it's all
Yeah.
about taking the client through the journey, just showing the club, discussing what are the advantages of the club, but also understanding what was the reasoning why they came to the club in the first place, and what they want to achieve, and then just tell them how you can do it within our club. And also, when they come to the club, you can also see that the club is full of people. So there's also this energy, like, okay, like it, there's a swimming pool, there's this, I can do this. And then when you say, okay, if you would like to join today, we have a special offer,
Yeah.
still the client can decide by themselves. That they can come tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, but it's quite tempting then actually to join on
Join
the
today.
first day.
It's an interesting one when you say about yeah, because when we've like what's very important is, David, is for most of this to work, you've got to have sales training. You've got to have a strong sales system. You've got to have people that understand how to build rapport, do a needs analysis, talk about people's objectives and goals, show potential members how you're going to get them in shape, create that kind of friendly atmosphere where people feel they want to be a member of your club. That's so important. And it's got to be backed up, got to be backed up by incredible service, great retention strategies. So you've really got to deliver the product. And it goes back to what I said at the start. What do you want to be to potential members 2 years down the road? How will you be different from the competitors? How do you want to be positioned in the market? And then when you get down to the tactical, it still goes back to that. Here's our product, here's our service. But sometimes when I've new salespeople and they've only been in the job a while, and maybe they missed the training in the first week, and I used to get this, I don't get it anymore. Well, the 4-day pass, you get people that have no interest, or you get tire kickers, or you get people that have nothing else to do. And I always say this back to them, and I always used to say it to salespeople. So somebody woke up on a Saturday morning. They had 1,000 things they could do today, but what they decided was they could have gone to the opera, anything they could have done. They could have played golf, but they decided to do something that they've absolutely no interest in. It's a ludicrous. People have very little time. The fact that they would get a 4-day trial and choose to give up 2 hours to go to somewhere and face the embarrassment and the intimidation and the insecurity and the insure, you've got somebody that's a very, very good lead. And the same way with digital leads that you get to your website. I used to have to train salespeople when they're following them up. Remember that lead that's on your database now that just came in. Somebody had to switch on a computer. Somebody had to search gyms or health clubs. They had to see your website. They had to click on your website. They had to read something on the website. They had to see that there was a 4-day pass. They had to choose to give their name, telephone number, and email and say, here I am, ready to be called and like to see your club. You are never going to get as hot a lead as that. And, again, with sales training, and our sales training is 5 days. So it's like Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it can be 4 to 5 days. And many of our salespeople go through sales training 4 and 5 and 6 times a year. So the average would be 20 days per year professional sales training. And they all go through that.
There's another topic that I would like to, dive into it, but we don't have time today about, sales training. One thing that I also get from this discussion right now is, okay, that you're very strong on sales and the sales training, but still what you said is that you have the automated process in place.
Yes, together.
So at the end, it's very crucial to have actually both things. Of course, depend on the business model. Like if you're a budget operator, then you're leaning more towards the automation, but still having someone to map out the automation, having different structures, segment the data automatically and have the great copy. It's very important. But then if you're also having, stuff inside the club, sometimes you don't have to have like sales department into your business. If you're small, you have a reception or stuff like that. You still can give them like a simple basic sales training, so they have they can ask the basic questions and to lead the customer into actually wanting to become a member. Alan, I think that we can end here. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for taking the time and sharing some of your know-how. I still have plenty of questions, but maybe it will be for some future podcast episode. Alan, to those of you who would like to connect with Alan, where they can find you online or how they can connect with you.
Well, it's Alan Leach. You'll find me on LinkedIn. You'll find me on Facebook. If you want my email, it's ALAN. That's Alan, ALAN Leach, Leach, at Westwood, WESTWOOD.ie. So you can contact me through LinkedIn, Facebook, or you can contact me at that email. I have another email, alan.leach@me.com. Sure. Actually, what's an interesting one, David, I finished with this. When you're talking about marketing automation, look, the way I look at things is with sales is there's 2 chairs in an office. One the salesperson is sitting in, the other one's empty. What can you do to fill that other chair and that salesperson is presenting your club as many times a day as possible? So the marketing automation that we do is to get you into the club so a salesperson can talk to you. It's no different if you're a budget club and you don't do that. You're just using marketing automation to sell the website, to sell your club online. But even personal training, small clubs, you can do that. But look, our salespeople, as I say, they've all got fitness backgrounds, and they're with me a long time. They go through the training. They're all internal. We choose them internally. We've never hired a sales manager externally ever in 25 years, 30 years. They all come up through the ranks. But yeah.
Awesome. Alan,
But
Alan,
anybody can
thanks so much.
contact me anytime.
Yeah, so if anyone would like to ask some questions, Alan, or need some support, consulting support, you can always,
Absolutely.
reach out to Alan. We will also have some links in the description in different places where we have, and you can watch this video or listen to that audio. One more time, thanks so much.
Thank you, David, very much. It was a pleasure to be on your podcast. Thank you.